What do you mean by that?
People dislike me because I am not completely like them.
And in what way are you different?
This influences my thinking and consequently my actions.
What is it you're trying to do with your life?
I am trying to do with my life something which few people try to do. And this influences my thinking and consequently my actions. Yes,
And what is that?
I am not completely like other people.
What do you mean by that?
People dislike me because I am not completely like them.
And in what way are you different?
This influences my thinking and consequently my actions.
What is it you're trying to do with your life?
I am trying to do with my life something which few people try to do. And this influences my thinking and consequently my actions.
Test. Test, test, test. Testing. I think we're good. Let's run in here. Hello, hello. Can you see me? Hello, hello. Let's double check real quick. Welcome. We're in the new abode. Going live. Live stream feedback number 43. You already know what's going down. Make sure this works. Yep. We in for the win. We're gonna make sure we got the camera on lock. All right. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me. Thank you, man. Thank you. It's going down. It's going down. We have about 16 submissions so far, and we are going to allow 4 more to be submitted. I'll allow a couple more minutes for submissions as well. Go in the description, submit your track. I will give you feedback. We're going over song arrangement, sound design, mixing, mastering, everything that is good. We'll see what needs to be improved with your tracks. Let's see who is first. The first submission is Another Dimension. No, it's Existence VIP. And where is the Existence VIP? For some reason, the first track did not download, I guess. Oh, it says it was skipped. Okay, let me put that back in. Oh, this is from, I guess he already submitted this. If it's a resubmission, usually my computer won't download it again. It'll be like, nah, bro. So I have to re-download it. Let me just get that real quick. All right, cool. What up, homies? Okay, I'm gonna make a new track for this boy. So first we got Existence VIP by Oddly EDM. It's oddly EDM. Let's get it done.
The machines have become sentient, and they've decided that they no longer want to serve humans. Translation. Switch.
Come with me if you want to live.
The machine.
switch.
It's okay, Mom.
Okay, Mom. What you know about it? What you know about that, boy? That's oddly EDM. Coming out with Existence VIP. Now, I shall say, when I first heard the drop, it sounded like there was a lot of stuff missing, to be honest. Sounds very empty. You literally just have sub and cymbals right here. And then empty sections where there's no bass. So it's very odd. It almost seems like there's some bass tracks that are turned off or something. This 4 to the floor right here. This doesn't really add much fake out effect, so I would really try to refrain from going 4 to the floor in this dubstep halftime song. And the rhythm is really the same, so there's not much variation over time, so it starts to sound pretty repetitive. And then over here, you just have one simple synth bass. Very thin, there's not much going on, sounds empty. Some of the sections sound pretty cool, very Wookiee, you know. Some of these sections would work, but really as a whole song together, it sounds pretty all over the place. You really want to try to structure this, organize it a bit better so that there's call and response. There shouldn't be any sections where it's just sub and drums unless it's like a strategic silent section. But there's a lot of sections with silence and no mid basses playing. So you really want to start to fill those up. Like a bass can go here, you know? Rob. And then you can have this bass keep playing. So you could like do drop, and just have it keep going and then kind of go back and forth between the call and the response. You can kind of catch a flow. Not too bad though. Not too bad. Definitely a Wilk vibe, definitely cool. I know some people would be getting down to something like that in the woods. For real. Cool. That's oddly EDM. Up next we have DJ Luxedo with Another Dimension. Look at that cover art, looking swell. Swell cover art, swell. Swell. Whoa. Uh-oh. I'm very confused right now. This song is honestly can't really listen to this because the whole song is panned to the left. I don't know if you can see this, but look how like the kicks have to be mono. It's really important that these kicks are in the middle. Right now, we don't have anything playing in the middle or the right. It's just being oddly panned to this direction of the left. The whole song is. During these sections, it sounds like the majority of the song is removed or muffled and we can't really hear it. And it's much louder on the left speaker than the right. It feels very weird. There's some serious issues going on with the panning of the master track or maybe some main buses. Your image should definitely not be looking like this ever. You're really going to have to fix these issues before we can listen to it. Yeah, I mean, like, we're just getting full intensity and volume in our left ear and nothing's in our right ear. Huge stereo image problems. Make sure you check each individual track, your groups, your buses, and your master track, and make sure there's no weird panning going on with the regular tracks. So like on the track, you can see the panning with the C. So C is middle, up is right, down's left. So you gotta check these pannings, and then you also have to check utility. So if you have a utility and like, let's say the balance is left or right, that can affect it. For some reason, your kick and your main lows are panned to the left. So you want to go ahead and check on those. Make sure you get all that fixed up so that it can sit well in the stereo image. Look at the previous song beforehand so you can kind of see what the stereo image should look like. On Oddly song, you'll see the majority sticks in the middle, which is mono. Keep in mind, like iPhone speakers, MacBook speakers, a lot of speakers would only be playing a mono signal sometimes. So you want to make sure that you have a strong mono signal. And then when someone puts stereo headphones on, or there's a stereo speaker system in the club, then they can get the full body. You'll see the kicks are in the middle.
Okay, Mom.
You'll see some sounds are wider than others. But it really should be looking like this. The middle's the main, and then nothing really should be panned heavily to the left or right. So just double check on those things, really important, so that we can actually listen to the song for sure. Another Dimension, DJ Luxedo. Up next, we have Badonkadonk by Aaron, aka Paradox. Let's get it done.
Got stole by the bandits a few days ago. Nobody steals bushy snugglefaces, but Donkadonk is lit! Blast that train, bushy!
Badunk. Okay, this is pretty decent, my guy. We have some good quality sounds. The sound design is there. We have lots of like full sounding. I don't know if you were checking the imager, but the whole time everything's full, everything's sounding nice, clear, loud up front. So this is a really good foundation here.
Stole by the bandits.
It's sounding really subtronicsy.
And they got stole by the bandits a few days ago.
Like that main bass, very subtronic-y. Just the vocals, the synths. This is pretty cool. This first drop, though, is very low energy. There's not really much to dance to here. 1, 2, 3. Like the rhythm is just 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's very slow moving. Once we get to like this drop, this starts to sound like more dubstep-y, something fast. Then we go back to something slow. Dun 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 dun. Like this is proper call and response structure. This is proper energy. Your whole song should basically have this much energy. And then when you get to the last drop, it's like maximum intense energy. So like the first drop should be this heavy. And then everything after the first drop starts to sound crazier and more intense, rather than keep it super slow the whole time and then give us more energy at the end. Because, most people would just, skip through. Just because it sounds good and it sounds clean and clear doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to have us dancing. It says dance music, EDM, so we have to have lots of groove, lots of rhythm for us to start shaking and moving. When it's slow like this, it does not make sense to be at the beginning of the drop. We just built it up for the first time. We need maximum energy. We want it to be as intense as possible so we can dance as much. After we dance for 32 bars, let's say, then you can slow it down and start to add some slower rhythms like this. And then it would sound really good, really impactful, rather than being at the beginning of the song where it's just slow moving and misplaced. So just think about this, the way you structure your songs, the way energy is moving, transitioning from phrase to phrase, really important. And you could say that's more important than the actual sound quality. People can get past with making people dance with something that doesn't sound that good, rather than something that sounds polished and clean and loud, but doesn't make you dance. Overall, though, this is good. Definitely at a high level because it's sounding professional. Good song structure, using pre-drops, good build-up timing. You could add some more energy in these build-ups, though, for sure. It sounds very empty. Not a lot of drums going on. Not a lot of risers going on. So definitely add more, layer more in these build-ups to add maximum energy. Build as much tension as you can. So when we get to the drop, you deliver. Good shit, though. That's what I'm talking about. Good job. That's Paradox with a badonk, naturally. Up next, we have Lysergics with freaking Balloon Dub. The Balloon Dub, my guy. Balloon Dub. Let's check it out. Check it.
Crazy hallucinations kick in. It's hard to tell people that you have people in your head talking to you while you're pumping nitrous oxide, but it's true. So they're telling me, huff a lot of fucking nitrous, and hold your fucking breath so you don't be a pussy and suffocate yourself. I met God a few times. Crazy hallucinations kick in. It's hard to tell people that you have people in your head talking to you while you're pumping nitrous oxide. But it's true. So they're telling me, huff a lot of fucking nitrous and hold your fucking breath so you don't be a pussy and suffocate yourself.
Give me a different balloon, cause
Yeah. Yep. Doom. All right, good job. That was sounding pretty cool with the ballooned up. You know what, man? You brought me back to Laos lands real quick. It's been a while since I've had a balloon in my hand. It's been a while since we had a gas canister nearby. Nevertheless, I digress. Balloon dub, sounding good, sounding funky. I must say there is some sick rhythm in here, but some of the basses sound very behind the scenes, like in the background, when really they should be pulled up more front so that can be heavier. Let's take a listen.
A few times.
These basses sounded nice and loud. Now, do you hear how it's going fast in the background? That dubstep bass is sounding super thin, super in the background. It should be, you know, thicker up front, center, kind of like living with its main homie going quarter note. That bump, bump, bump. That bump, bump, bump is loud and clean, but so should that fast one with it.
I met God a few times.
Now this section, this is like a fake out section, and it would work really well if the drums were not in it. So like there should be a kick only at this beginning bar. Kick, just to introduce. But then no snare or no more kicks all the way until we hit the drop. And it'll basically tease and be a fake out to what's to come, which is this here. And then that would make it, it would make the rhythm flow a lot more. Because when the snares are in here, then it's like we're dancing slow at the beginning. But if you remove the drums, then it becomes a tease and a fake out. And then it adds more energy to transition into the... So keep that in mind.
Crazy hallucination, but it's true.
Yeah, and then the second drop should be dramatically different. I would add a big sustain. It could be like, and then like a sustain after. That'd be sick. Yeah, this is pretty dope, man. Very cool idea. I like the balloon in it. It takes me back somewhere. It takes me to a fun place, and it's creative and, you know, on point. It matches the theme. Good job. Balloon dub. Bye. Lesser checks. Check out the cover art. This is a natural cover art with a dog and a balloons. Very nice, very fun. Up next, we have Mipsy, the founder, the Down. What kind of blasphemy has he submitted? Do next feedback, bruv. Forward the next feedback, bruv. This is Solutions T1. Man, you guys don't even know what's going on. We have solutions. We don't have problems. We have solutions. T1 style. Mipsy. Run it. Click. Go. Yes, sir. Bustin' on the block, yeah, Nipsey coming up with the track he got, yeah, solutions.
Fuck with me, fuck around and be deceived.
Solutions. Those transitions, though, you got on point. Dude, this transition right here. That shit clean, my guy. Okay, but Solutions T1. I'm not too sure why you named it Solutions. Very Confucius for me. I'm very sad. Sad days. You know why? Because there's no sub bass for some reason. Like you can hear a little sub drop right here. It's a little tease of a little sub, right? But then no sub. What we're hearing are like distorted mid basses. If you get a sub and like add a lot of distortion or saturation, you'd actually remove the filling part of the sub. Like, you know, you feel it in your chest and then you can only hear it, but you can't feel it anymore. And a proper sub should be both. You feel it and hear it. So you usually have like a clean sine wave so that you can feel it, and then have a separate layer, which is like your distorted layer, so that you can hear it also. Both of those combine to create the hot fun time function. This is what this needs, basically. The main bass, like the long thing, how it pitches down over here. It starts to pitch. Like right here, and it sounds really low, nice and good. And And over here, you can start to change the vocal chops. The vocal chops play this throughout this whole time. So during this end phrases, they can start to change up. So it becomes less repetitive. And then you can incorporate more silence. Dynamics is important. So having silence during these super long played out sections will be extremely impactful. And the silences, if like silences happen on a snare, like snare, silence, that'll be good. It really will. Overall, pretty decent. It's definitely a vibe, man. If I was on, you know, some psychotropics, you already know this would be going crazy. But you need the bass, right? We need to feel that sub when we're at the festival, when we're in the jungle. Gotta feel that sub while hearing that sub. You know what it is. Yeah. Okay. Who's next? Uh-oh. We've been bestowed upon. It's the dread days. It's dreadful. The silent language.
Let's go.
Wow. That intro is absolutely stunning. We're going to have to run this back. Cello that boy. Jesus. Introducing the dread. Okay, Dreadful. Put down the torch, man. Pass it along, my guy. I don't know what's been on with you, man, but you are on. This is super creative, super unique, super sick. Like I have this sample. And the way you use this sample and have it keep running and then introduce the bass, it's just so clean. This is a very unique way to tease and fake out. Like it's so new. Like I've never heard something like this, and it works. Most importantly, so you're changing the dynamics of sound and groove and rhythm with these drops, and it's super interesting, very impressive. Like you're building tension and energy in other ways rather than with your drums. Speaking of your drums, though, as soon as this kick comes in, it sounds very loud. You can gradually ease these in with volume to make it sound more professional. It's very abrupt how it's quiet and this loud kick comes. So just make sure this like slowly goes up, and then everything will sound a lot more professional. These slow growls remind me of like Jurassic Park. Like it's like I'm in a new age futuristic Jurassic Park in the Jeep at night, and all these dinosaurs are growling at me with like haunted Grim Reapers walking next to me. Very cool. Such an experience. We're basically dancing in halftime, but with this type of song, since it's so like psychedelic and trippy, you get lost in the sound, and it's working really well. See, in these sections, then we start to speed it up, so it's like double or regular time. And your head bobs like this rather than this. And the way you did it, it works well. Starting with slow, going fast. It all makes sense in this song. Your image is beautiful. Your loudness is beautiful too. It's so clean. Good job, bro. I'm so happy to see this out of you. You keep fucking grinding, bro. Once I go on tour, dude, you, Lodian, and Tang are right there with me, guys. You guys are fucking killing the game, man. Very fun, very fun. Super dark, inspiring, honestly. Inspiring. Good job, Dread. Dreadful. The silent language. Up next, we have Goat Dubs with System. Parentheses. Demo. Parentheses. Is gay. Actually, I need to take a restroom break 1 second. Give me like a 1 moment. 30 seconds. Be right back.
Yes. And what is that? I am not completely like other people.
What do you mean by that?
People dislike me because I am not completely like them.
And in what way are you different?
This influences my thinking and consequently my actions.
What is it you're trying to do with your life?
I am trying to do with my life something which few people try to do. And this influences my thinking and consequently my actions.
Testing for the 1 2 1 time. For the 1 2 1 time. All right, we back. Let's get into it. We got Go Dubs coming in with System. Let's crack it down. Get it, folks.
System starting. More. 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 Error. More. System starting. More. More.
Go Dubs.
System starting. More. More.
Okay, cool. That's Go Dubs coming in with System Demo. Now, I must say, this song sounds pretty, I would say like 70 to 73% finished. A lot of the things in this song are starting to sound really repetitive because of how it's arranged. And that's an issue. This fake out is very long too, abnormally long. It's an 8-bar fake out, which is rather too long. Usually it should be 4, usually sometimes 2. 4 bars is usually the best. But if you're going to do an 8-bar fake out, you really need to make sure you have more risers, more like swells, more washouts going on so that it starts to transition more and doesn't get too static or too stale. Now you're playing the same tone this whole time. It kind of sounds like it's changing a little, but it's not changing enough. And as soon as we get to the drop, the same tone of the bass pitch is still playing. So it starts to sound very repetitive. And it's like when the drop hits, we're not hit with new, fresh, new, interesting sounds or rhythms because we played it for 8 bars beforehand. So because of this, the drop is a lot less impactful than what it should be. You can easily fix this just by lowering the bass's pitch. It's like high pitch here, but then when we hit here, they go lower pitch, like dun 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 dun, rather than Then we go low pitch for a good 8 bars, and then we go back high. That way we can kind of go back and forth between the high pitches in 8 bars, low pitch in 8 bars, high pitch in 8 bars. We can create call and response that way. There are some other call and response issues. Like in this section, you switched up the rhythm to where there's more of a call and response structure, like it's talking to each other. So you can add and layer in different basses so that it's like different sounds going back and forth. So when it starts, these 2 hits can be a different bass. And then these 2 are the similar ones. You can layer these with other basses as well, so you can keep these, but start to add new, more intense energy during these sections, and it'll make it less repetitive than everything that played beforehand as well. And then lastly, when we get to this BPM switch, you really want to have these basses play faster rhythms and stuff, because we're dancing very slow at this point. Like your head, like everyone's literally dancing like this. Imagine them dancing like this. But if they're dancing like this and they're like doing that bass face, right? That that's gross. While they're dancing like this, you know what I'm saying? That's what we want them to do. But this is not causing the bass face here. The reason why it's not causing the bass face is because we heard the same tones and the same rhythms for like, you know, this whole section beforehand, 2 minutes and 41 seconds. We heard these tones and rhythms. So you really want to start introducing new tones, new rhythms, make them do that bass face, surprise them with new stuff so that this would be worth listening to, worth going to towards the end. When we switch it down and we slow the track down with the BPM switch, it's not advised to do this because it will lower the energy levels and it'll be much harder to use this song when we're DJing it. Usually if there's a BPM switch in a song, I'll just not use it rather than use a song that's a constant 140 or 145 BPM. In Rekordbox, you would have to do a lot more work just to make sure everything's on grid for the first 3/4 of the song, which is 145 or whatever, and then the last, which is like 120. And that's just not good. Once you get to like professional sets at festivals and stuff, like you know how Marauda is doing that, you can really start to incorporate slower BPMs in certain sections and use these songs in those ways. But you just have to be really creative with that and make sure you're hyper aware of how much the energy is reduced when you slow the track down. Super important. Cool. Good job. Goat Dubs once again submitting a high quality track. You love to see it. Up next we have Sinner. Escape at 140 beats per minute. E2. E2? You mean E minor? Oh, what you mean? Let's get it done. Sinner on the decks for the 1 time, for the 2 time, for the 3, for the 4. DJ! Alright, cool. A Sinner with Escape at 140 beats per minute at E2. E2? I think you mean E minor. E minor. So, there's a lot of things in this song that need to be improved because this song has like a decent intro, you know, but then as soon as we get to the drop, it's like energy levels go way down. It sounds very quiet. And there's a lot of issues with the rhythm and groove. There's nothing really to dance to. It's more just like we're listening to ambient atmospheres and bass rather than dancing and moving to a constant groove, which is really important that we do so. The kick and the snare are what we're dancing to, and then we have to like shape everything around it. So the way you do that is with call and response. With your basses, you just got them free flowing, my dog. They're just free flowing. They're just dancing all over the place. There's not really any structure when it comes to how your basses are talking to each other or moving back and forth from one another. Like, even in this little tiny section right here, you can hear a couple basses. Then when this main bass starts coming up, it just kind of free flows in a wild direction. Now, it's like they're randomly playing. There's not any structure. So the way you create structure is with call and response. As soon as your drop starts... As soon as your drop starts, first off, you need a kick so that everyone knows your drop is happening. Don't have it be silent. If you're going to do a fake out, you want to do a proper fake out. You don't just want to remove the kick and have there be no drums, because those drums are really important. So you add the kick first, and then you start with call and response. You only work in 4-bar sections at first. Find a good 4 bars. You see, I highlight, look at the bottom, says length 4. This is 4 bars. So within these 4 bars, you should have 3 things happening: a call, a response, and a fill. And then this is the easiest way to start learning call and response. So when these start, you have one bass, like a call. It could be like a growl. Let's say it's like one of these, and we can even stretch this to make it 1. I'll crop it. If it's in complex, we can stretch it. We'll make our own little call. And then you would have basically a fill section. So there'd be a bass, a long bass, you'd have some fast responses, and then maybe like a fill. And usually in the fill, you can use silence, you can use vocals, you can use different drum fills so that it can transition to the next phrase, which is the next 4 bars. So every 4 bars is essentially a phrase. And then you'll have your 4 bars stacking up all the way until you make a 32-bar drop. First 4 bars are your 8-bar sections, and you'll have 4 8-bar sections. That's how you're going to do it. You want to work like that rather than just having your basses free flowing. And then layer multiple basses at the same time so that they can sound loud, full, and not quiet. We don't want them to sound quiet. We want them to sound loud and nice and thick. Gotta get those basses thick, my boy. Work on those things. Those are very important. And then you'll be able to start catching a flow. Reference some tracks too if you need to. Watch my reference track video to see how to reference tracks. It's super helpful. Up next, we have Smileys. We have Smileys coming in hot with the new Enga Flip final version 1. What? Version 1? It's the final version 1? Let's do it, man. Let's get it done. Rhythm. Yes. Boy, you behave, boy. Damn. Damn. Jesus. Stupid. Stupid. Oof, that's murderous, my guy. Jeez. That was a lot of energy. Oh my gosh, you had me dancing the whole time. Very good, dude. Every phrase was changing up, adding new intensity. You're leveling up because this is sounding not just like regular rhythm, but like an evolved form of rhythm that keeps people super interested the whole time. Lots of movement. I mean, just the middle of the drop when you throw in your tag, this dynamic shift, just how much is going on. The way you fill it up and chop everything up is very good. Like you filled it, like it's a perfect transition from the halfway point to the next halfway point. You throw in your tag. It's just really clean, man. I'm loving this. We got the stupid beat, the recognizable vocal, you know what I'm saying? The OG. It's really cool, honestly. Everything sounds clean. The sub is very thick. Our image looks perfect. We're at perfect loudness levels. Like automatically, you just stop listening and just want to dance. And that's the goal here, right? Something that just gets you lost in space and time, lost in sound, and just makes you want to move. Like imagine old grandma. She just heard this. You put on the new anger flip. Look, old grandma. I mean, how is she not going to bob her head or move a little bit? You know, dang, man. These grannies better be shaking. The sub is really clean too. Like you're pitch bending the sub, I think, every sub, and like it's changing over time too in some phrases, it sounds like. Yeah, like this one goes boom. It goes down more. It's so sick. It's mean. Good job, bro. This is good. Keep making music like this. You know what I'm saying, dude? If you have 30 to, I think you need more than 30, like 40 to 60 unreleased. And then like 30 released. Like there's no stopping you. Like that's all you need. And then you just sell out these clubs, you know, prove to everyone you can sell out these motherfucking clubs and get people to show up when you actually play at the festival. You'll be right up there, bro. This is getting done. But remember, you got to change the game and evolve the game. If you sound like anyone else, people won't be interested. You got to sound unique, different, new. People are looking for new all the time. You're so close to crafting your sound. So just keep at it, bro. Sounding sick. Sounding dope. Up next, we have Necrotic with Help. Look at this. Look at this creepy cover art. Who that lady? Who that lady? Okay, let's get it done. Ooh.
The number you have dialed is not available at present. Please leave your message after the beep. Is not available at present. Please leave your message after the beep.
Nice. Okay, cool. This is a good idea. You set a nice dark scene here. It's like horror movie vibes. Evil chimes. Girl crying. When we get to the drop though, energy levels are not as high as they should be. The reasons is because the basses are like really low volume. So your sub is loud and pumping. But if you listen to the bass that's like matching with it, it's like super low volume compared to the sub. There's also like a synth, like almost like a bell, like boom, 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 playing with it. And that is also louder than the bass. So you want that bass to be, you know, louder than that little synth thing and as loud or louder than your sub so that you can really make it sound and feel more intense. You're going to be using multi-band compression, saturation to make it loud. And you're going to be layering your basses with itself, different versions of itself, and layering it with different types of basses too to get it thick and full. Louder. Same here with this bass too, and the second section. Like the atmospheres in the back, those bells are starting to sound louder than the actual basses. So, yeah, want to make sure you start to mix and level and get your main sounds louder than the other background sounds. It'll help a lot. Otherwise, you got some nice flows in here. Dun, 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 dun. Like, you can tell these flows and these rhythms are in you. And to be honest, like, a lot of this is really wooky and really chill. Like, if we're in the woods, you know. If people just walking around, you know, on their psychos, and they're just like looking up at the woods and the stars, listening to this, I'm sure you would take them to another dimension. You know what I'm saying? Some of these. God, yeah, that's good. That's fun. Music's good. Putting them into a different, like, part of the universe. Good job. Good job. Good job. Just work on getting it louder, more intense, higher energy. It'll make a world of a difference. Up next, we got Tang's baby George. His name is Flipper. Flipper come in with ASAP ID updated. Okay, flip. Let's go ahead and check it.
Swagger so impressive, and I don't need a necklace, but these bitches get impressed when you pull up in that 7, them 6s, them beans, get the freshies, Rap Simmons, Rick Owens, usually what I'm dressed in, doing blunts, rolling doobies up, smoking section, groupies rush, hold they boobies up in my direction, good with all the front, and you ain't run my click for nothing, cause our presence is a present, just to kick it is a blessing. This is the way it goes. This isn't where we will, cause every day we gotta pay so. This isn't where it goes, this isn't where we will, cause every day we gotta pay so.
Gun crack, gunshot, on a liquor boy. Gun cat, gunshot, on a liquor boy. Gun cat, gunshot, on a liquor boy.
Yo, bitch, she said I'm hot, man, I told her I agree. She gon' really think I'm hot if I told her my degrees. Pull up in that hard top, showing off my keys, grabbing school a hard knock. I can show you my degrees, couple A, B, C's, bad bitch, double D's, poppin' E. I don't give a F, told you I'm a G, A, S, A, P. Stevie got it on his sleeve, but I got it on my chest, my nigga, this is what I...
Cool. Let's run that back again.
Gunshot, gonna lick a boy. Gunshot, gonna lick a boy.
Yo, bitch, she said I'm hot, man, I told her I agree. She gon' really think I'm hot if I told her my degrees.
So sick. All right, cool. I'm really loving the ASAP pace. So unfortunately, it sounded like the key is off right here. Sounded like lots of clashing, lots of dissonance. Not sounding good right here. Lots of melodic sounds and stuff in the background are playing notes that are not on the scale. So the original peso track is an A sharp minor. So that means that you would have to be writing your song in A sharp minor for it to sound perfect with your peso vocals. They're singing to A sharp minor like peso, like they're hitting all the 7 notes in A sharp minor. So if you're writing in D minor, for example, you'd have to transpose it from A sharp minor down to D, something like that. He would sound like lower in pitch. So you have to just be aware of your keys and how you're tuning the acapellas to your songs, because when they're singing in sections like this, rather than rapping, it becomes more melodic, and then the scale matters a lot more. In these sections, you can't really tell.
Rolling doobies up, smoking section, groupies rush.
And then during the drop, you can have the vocals play, but not like the whole time. You know, we really want to make sure the vocals are not the star of the show, but rather the basses. So you can like have them play a little bit at the beginning and then stop them to open up space for all the basses and the audience to like focus in on those. like right after I agree, the basses change up. So that's a perfect section to like kill the vocal and just let it play.
Yo, bitch, she said I'm hot, man. I told her I agree. She gon' really think I'm hot if I told.
Yeah, just no vocals, and it goes wob, wob, wob. And then if it sounds too empty, add another layer, another bass layer, or a white noise layer to kind of fill it up so that it transitions well from the vocals back to the basses. It'll sound sick.
Yo, bitch, she said I'm hot, man. I told her I agree.
I like the rhythm and like the fast wigglies of the basses, though. It's cool.
Pull up in that hard.
The hats, though, like in the back.
Pull up in that hard top.
They don't really make sense. Those are going to be doing a lot for the groove and the rhythm and the way people move. So start with like a quarter note. Start with like a maybe a half note, and then start to add little sections in between those half notes, like right now it's kind of sporadic, sounding like this hi-hat is sounding like you would do a hi-hat in like a hip-hop or a trap song, like a closed hi-hat, like sounds like that rather than a dubstep hi-hat formation. Start with like a quarter note or a half note rhythm where your hi-hat like or and then you can put hats in between those hits and start to add faster rhythms like that. It'll help a lot. Otherwise, man, good idea. I love this song. I love me a peso. All right, cool. Up next, we got Dub by Dino. Dino with Dub? Okay. Let's get it done. All right, cool. That was Dino with Dub. We have some really cool chill vibes at the beginning. Really liking this. This doesn't usually happen in dubstep often. Like these chill guitars. It's like more like hip hop, you know? I like this. We get into some hip hop drums. During this section, the sub is playing too much. It's like it's sustained the whole time, basically. So you want to incorporate more silence so that there's dynamics, so that it feels like the sub is new and fresh every time after a silence happens. When we get to the build up, you really want to start speeding up the drums. Have drums in the background going fast, starting to filter in like while these are going. You can try triplet timings as well. Don't pitch the melodics, but rather pitch the drums so it sounds natural. It sounds very unnatural while it's starting to pitch up right here. So rather than pitching the melodic sections or the synths, pitch your drums and have the drums rise in pitch like the claps and the snares. Now in the main drop, the guns, just in general, are very thin and small, almost weak. So you want to make sure that you start layering your guns very heavily, multiple layers. Watch my latest tearout guns video, 2024, and that will show you how to layer these guns to make them loud, thick, fat, and really command your song, command the mix. Right now we're coming at -5 lefts in like a song where we have guns, where it's like kind of more tear-outy. We should be hitting like -3. You want to reach there. So layer your guns, get those right. And then when we come here, you have a lot of background basses that are like randomly playing in rhythm, and you really want those to like play at the same rhythm as your main basses. So dun 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 is the main rhythm. The stuff in the background should kind of be moving to that rhythm as well. But they're kind of moving randomly to a different rhythm, and it's messing up the flow. So you want to make sure you resolve that. That'll help because this is a nice faster section, so it'll sound nice and clean once you do that. Cool. Good job though. I know you have a nice idea here. You just need to start layering, getting things thicker, fatter, more energy, and focusing on speeding things up, you know, speeding up the tension and making that build up bigger. Good job. Very nice. Dino with Dub. Next we have Rico Monsi with Just a Dream. Let's get it down. Oh, it's right here. I think it was... Okay, cool. Let's get it done. Just a dream. It's just a dream. Bum, bum, bum. Just a dream. Wow. Good job. That was fun. That was really fun. This section I like a lot. There's so much dancing in here. Like, like it brings me back to like when I'm at Lost Lands, just going so hard with people, like just everyone dancing at the same time. It's so much fun. This is good rhythm, good flow. Very impressed by this right here. The other sections don't sound as good as this. There's not as much energy. I mean, they sound good. There's just not as much danceable energy, which is really what we're shooting for. The more people are dancing, the more people will be attracted to it, the more you get played out. It's all about getting people hyped up in the club. So the brass is doing lots of work here. So as soon as this brass hits on the root note with the bass, it's commanding, and we're using this to like really glue everything together for the rest of the song. Works very well. These main basses though, the bum bum, they sound not as thick and full as they should be. There should be more girth to these things, and just adding one more layer, maybe two more layers of either the same sound with different post-processing or a different sound altogether, but doing the same rhythm so that it can layer nice and clean with what's playing already. But yeah, these just need to be thicker. Same here. I'm glad that the flow switched up, but they do need to be thickened up. So like when I hear it, I can hear some mids, some highs. You can even have more highs play. I also want to show you the guns here. They sound very dry, like there's not a lot of reverb, and there isn't a lot of reverb. If you reference like a Murata track where there's like sick guns, they're meant to be big and wide and have a lot of space to them. And these sound very dry, and the space is very minimal, and it's not creating that huge effect that it could be. And if it was doing it, it would add a lot more energy, more impact during these gun sections. And when I say gun, it's just more like a bass sound that's super fast and transient-y, like da, 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 just fast like that. That's like pretty much a gun. But yeah, reverb, it has some nice verb on it. The hybrid reverb, all you have to do is just load up one of these, put it in convolution, and the decay stays under a second. Short decay. Then you can literally drag in random samples to the reverb and create new reverbs using this. And just change the decay, make it shorter. Then you have new reverbs for your song. It's really, really crazy. So like, listen. That's one reverb. Let's throw in another one. It's another reverb. Like there's different tones and frequencies you can get out of your reverbs. So really start to experiment with this stuff. It's just crazy. So many different spaces that you can invite just by dragging in random different bass one shots into your reverb, and doing that too will create new tones and vibes that people haven't heard before. Most importantly, get them running. Good job though, man. This is very nice, very fun. Just a dream. It got stuck in my head after it was finished, so you're onto something here. Oh, the sidechain. It's feeling almost too ducky. Sorry. You can feel how the sidechain ducks in these sections. It almost feels like it's ducking in a square rather than a perfect ramp. Make sure that shape is really nice and natural. Make sure it's not ducking too much. It feels like it's ducking a little bit too much and creating an odd feeling. The sidechain adds groove and rhythm, so if that sidechain's not, perfect, then it will either add less groove and rhythm, or the groove and rhythm will be slightly like off time. You just have to make sure that's good and on time. 6 song, dog, 6 song. Up next, we have Hector with Surgeon collabing with Hector with Hypocusis. Airbleed cover art. Oh no, what are we in for? Gosh. Slowing down, my boy. Cool. Started to get kind of crazy towards the end there, kind of out of control. But I must say, that was really unique, really crazy. I was on an adventure in this section. It's very crazy. It is getting really loud though. We're hitting -1 LUF a lot, and we really shouldn't be. -3 LUFS is too loud. That's basically ear damaging loud. So anything past that is kind of, you don't really need to be there. A lot of the sections get that loud, so it's hard to turn up and listen to it. You have to like turn it down rather than turn it up due to how loud it is. So be careful with how loud you're taking your LUFS. Some of these sections too. Some of the sections start to sound a little muddy and stuff, so using your EQ, making sure you EQ enough is going to be really helpful for every single individual track. Sub sounds really nice though. It sounds really sick. It's really unique. It's definitely something I haven't really heard before. The clap is pretty crazy too. Or the snare. Oh gosh, that's amazing. Okay, good job. Very unique, very crazy. I would work on loudness levels, work on some of the mud, building up with some of the basses when they're playing together. Just use EQ8s to fix that. And when it gets slow, just make sure you keep good song structure like you did at the beginning. Don't have it get too crazy or out of control so that the listener kind of knows what to dance to and what to engage to. Sick. Good job. Up next we have Opetic. The Opetic special. Look at that crusty. I mean that Krabby Patty. Oh gosh. But there's a Krusty Krab piece of wood in it. You know what I'm saying? Let's check in.
I'm sick in the head.
That flute though. What are all these instruments? They have it good over there.
They must have amnesia.
Amnesia. Yes. Oh.
Smoking on Scooby-Doo dick.
Okay, that's the Pedic Special. I hope I'm saying it right. I'm sorry if I'm not. But there we go. We got lots of cool flowy. We got some boom, boom, boom. Good rhythm. Sounding real, whole vibes. The thing though is like your sub is not hitting like whole sub does, for example. It really seems like you're trying to go more that direction. The sub almost sounds like it's been squashed and killed, where we can hear the distorted version of the sub, but we can't feel the intense sub that's like activating in our chest. We're at the festival and at the club and we feel those subs. We don't hear it, we feel it in our chest. And right now it seems like this sub has been post-processed so much that we lost the feeling and we can just hear it. There is some feeling in there, of course, but it's at a low intensity. It's not as loud and as big as it should be. So be careful not to fully destroy your sine waves. Very important. Use G-clip as well to squish your bass with the sub together to get that really sick distorted sub that glues to the bass. Because that's really what you're looking for. You don't want the sub to be competing with the bass. Right now it sounds like the bass has a good a good stereo version, but the bass is like lost in the middle. And the sub is there in the middle. Sub is really loud in the middle. So it's like the sub super loud in the middle. Then we have the bass on the sides. It's very an abnormal stereo image. There should be the basses on the sides and in the middle. And then you have the sub in the middle as well. So that the mono is like commanding everything. And then the stereo has some extra basses in it. And then once we get like towards the end, after this is 16 bars. So halfway through, the next 16 bars should add different variations, different tones, different rhythms, so that it doesn't sound repetitive compared to the first 16 bars. Because right now it's very repetitive, just staying the same compared to these. So these are good, keep these, but then vary it up for the last two 8-bar sections. And then same thing, sub in here, repetition at the end. After you fix those, it'll have a lot more energy. It'll sound a lot more professional. And it'll get people pumping, moving, man. I like the, flutes and the India vibes that we get here. It's really cool. That's nice. Good idea. A piece of art, if you will. Up next, we have Dark Star with Activation version 1. Intro needs a lot of work and it's only version 1. Okay, sounds good. Let's get it done. Ooh. Yeah. motivation, determination, dedication. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Activation 1 by Darkstar. Cool. So we really need to start working on call and response in the drop, because when we build this up, we kind of get just thrown into the basses. It goes boom, boom, dun, 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 and then the offbeat synth, the thing that's going oh, 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 oh. That thing is louder than everything else, and that's an issue. We don't want that to be louder than everything else. We do want it to be nice and loud, but we need to get those basses to be a lot louder so that those start to become the loudest rather than the synth. The sub also, you can incorporate more silence with your sub and have your sub move to the basses. It'll make people move more. It'll make a lot more sense that way. Yeah, so some of these sections you can like cut the sub basically. You can cut the sub in these little fill sections. And then once you get to these little transition sections, you can cut the basses. Don't have the basses keep playing so that you can have it like a noticeable change from this section to this section. That's going to help a lot. Remember, layering your basses and making them loud going to be key. Layering them with other basses, it's just fine to make them thick and full. You can try and experiment different ways with making those basses thick. Gotta get them thick, boy. Gotta get them thick, boy. Up next, man, we have the Welcome VIP by Espin. Look at this cover art. Natural, flowing. Dog looks a little bit sad though. That's all right. We're gonna keep moving.
Hello. For the next 3 minutes, expect to be bombarded by the following sounds. You are now locked in.
Way.
Welcome to the USPEN experience.
Yes, sir. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
just getting dirty. He like him already. He wants the WIP, but I just need the Freddy. And I'm back in his partner, I'm petty. Tell me that he while he eating my honey. You know niggas love bitches with money. I get a lot. You know niggas love bitches with money. Bitches with money.
Oh gosh. Good job, mister. Good job, Espen, with the welcome VIP with the sad cry baby dog. I don't know why we have to say cry baby dog, man, but he probably just listened to welcome work in progress. I keep saying welcome VIP. Welcome WIP. Classic. Okay, dude. Good job. The thing is like, if you have a good idea, that's more valuable, honestly, than it sounding perfect. There's no such thing as perfection, but unfortunately, we do still need things to sound loud and clear, big energy, because when you're competing with all the other sounds and songs that are being played at the festivals, we have to at least be, you know, at the default standard clarity level. So when I say that, I need you to pay attention to how loud your crashes are and how loud your sub is compared to the basses that are actually playing. Your crashes are louder than the basses. So you really want to make sure that your basses, if you add a reverb or something, it's going to spread them out. You're going to lose that mono signal. So if you add a reverb or effects, make sure you have an additional track to compensate for all the mono. Make sure that's mono as well. Make sure you have a stereo. Combine them together so that they're big and full. And controlling the mix, then you can layer them with other basses, different basses too, to make them sound full. Right now, like the main bass, for example, if you compare it to the sustain bass, it's a dramatic difference in volume. So basically, like they sound almost muffled, like they're like behind the scenes, kind of lost, drowned in reverb, drowned behind everything else. So like the sustain is super loud compared to the bass behind it. The down, 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 down. Like it sounds super weak, super low, super thin. That bass needs to be brought up so it's thick, heavy, and playing, you know, thick and heavy with that sustain bass. Because the sustain bass isn't the main star of the show. It's going to be that main bass, and then the sustain would kind of support it. And then when it pitches down, the sub can be pitching down with it. You want to make sure the pitch bends for your basses and your subs line up. And the sustain can start to sound repetitive if it stays at the same tone over time. So if you like slightly change the tone of it with different effects, it'll make a big difference so that the first sustains are different than the last sustains. Over here, it really sounds like everything's spread to the side. Our sub is in the middle, but there's nothing really in the middle with our sub. So once again, be careful with all the audio effects, spreading things out, making things wide. We have to make sure we have both mono and stereo. That'll be important. That'll make it sound professional, get it to the next level. Parallel processing. That's everything. I have videos on it too. Show. Good job, Espen. Killing it, killing it. Now, we have Engla with Distorted Murders. The classic title name. Distorted Murders. Run it. Somebody get my cup. Wow, that was pretty sick. This Distorted Murders, naturally, by Engla. Or is it Engla? The world may never know. Pronounce it in the chat below. This is really cool. You're putting us in an eerie vibe, dark, murderous vibe right away. Then we get introduced into the rhythm function. You have a really subtle sustain in the back, which is just like so tiny, but it's like so, it's doing work, man. Sounds clean. Sounds clean with the rhythm, like the way it's moving, really clean, but it doesn't sound clear. Like the clarity of it isn't there. You really want to add like multi-band dynamics, add some good compression, pull up, pull out those frequencies so that we can hear them more. Because right now they kind of sound like a little muffled, kind of like an EQ8 or an auto filters on them. Like compare your basses to the clap, how clear and clarity the clap is compared to them. It's a lot louder, clearer in the mix. Your basses should be like that too. These dynamic shifts where it goes silent are really important. So I love to see that. Like these right here, that switch, so sick. Super dope. It's like almost that offbeat groove, offbeat rhythm. Super sick. It's not offbeat, but like milliseconds just shifted. Sub is nice and clean too. But I want you to notice that like in your master, your whole song is very low volume. -8 is not where you want to be. You want to be like at least -6. -4, you know, is where you should be shooting. So you have a lot of room to start compressing your sub, compressing your sounds, start bringing them up, start getting them up there. It's going to make a big difference because I have to turn it up a lot. If we were to like DJ this song out live and you were like trying to mix it in with another song that's already finished, you'll see that theirs are a lot louder compared to yours. So you want to make sure yours is always as loud as all the sounds or songs that you're mixing around it. Otherwise, man, good job. Good flow. Good rhythm. I'm loving the techniques. I'm loving the flows and the switches. That's what I love to see. Good job. That's Angler. And up next, we have Wasted with a collab submission. It is Way. It is Siren with Up in Flames featuring Kelsey Ray. Final. Oh, my Lord have mercy. Let's go, guys.
Flying closer to the sun, and I feel it burning right up. From the ashes, found my madness, burning bridges, going up in flames.
Beautiful. Oh my gosh. What a journey that took. Oh my God. Woo. This is amazing, man. I love these festival vibes. EDC was one of my first festivals, changed my life. These are the vibes I get and I'm listening to Kelsey Ray just rip it. The intro sounds extremely professional, to be honest. But when we get to the drop, there's a big difference in like quality from the intro to the drop. One of the main things is like the chord, the supersaw stacks are so clean, so big. But then when we have the basses come in, there's the quality of the basses and the bass one shots are very low intensity as well compared to how bright and beautiful these chords are. So the difference is just kind of abnormal. Like these basses right here sound like just came from a little preset pack from Serum. And then as soon as we hit these chords, it sounds like some beautiful, amazing, high production from like a professional producer. Like that is a 9 out of 10 in quality compared to this, which is like maybe a 4 or a 5. And you really just have to start layering and beefing up these basses so that they don't sound so weak and small compared to this huge mega supersaw stack that happens right after. Keep in mind too, like we have a snare that we're dancing to. Every time that 3 hits, the snare, that's when we headbang. If the snare is small, then the energy of our headbang will be small. Listen to how drowned out the snare sounds during this section and onwards. The snare's right here. It's very low volume compared to what's playing around it. And that's just like that's not okay, really. That snare should be big, huge, impactful, clean, clear in the mix, huge tail. I mean, this is a future bass snare technically, so it has to be treated as such. And there's just not as much intensity and energy because of the snare. So that would be an easy fix, getting that pumped up. Once we get to the sections where the basses become the main star and the chords happen less, the basses you can start to see issues arise with the basses. The basses are very stereo heavy. There's nothing really playing in the middle and it sounds very abnormal. You have a nice sub in the middle, basses are stereo heavy, there's vocals in the middle. It's just like it's not full completely with the stereo image. So make sure that you're parallel processing properly with these basses so that you keep a mono signal while having a stereo signal play as well. If there is a mono signal playing right now, it's almost inaudible or it's like very turned down, so you can barely tell it's there, while the stereo basses are loud up front and center. On top of that, the stereo basses, they sound thin and overcompressed rather than full have dynamics. You can't hear lows, mids, and highs with the bass, but rather just like highs. So we're like missing a grunge layer that could be in the middle for the mids. Now, I'm saying this track is really good, and what's really holding it are these vocals. Once we get to the drop, those future bass supersaw stacks are the next thing that holds it up. But I mean, if these downbeat basses are not super high and impactful, thick and upfront, it's going to make a huge effect. I mean, it's going to make a huge difference on the energy and the effect of the way the drop hits. Just keep those things in mind. It'll help a lot. But I mean, man, we're just trying to perfect it at this point. You know what I'm saying? The song's dope. You guys are making heat. Wasted, you're killing it, obviously. We're going to have a collab come out soon. Hope you guys enjoy this. Learned a lot. This is Feedback 43 session. Killing it. Have a great day, guys. Hit me up in the Discord, Instagram if you need help. I do private lessons. I do whatever you need help with. So just let me know. Have a good day. Stay fresh. Peace.